Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for bearing with me while I've gone a bit quiet. I did try and do the star sign readings, but they kind of threw me a little bit. Sometimes that happens. If energetically it just doesn't feel right, I'm not going to force myself to do the star sign readings. So I have been going through this kind of spiritual upgrade myself. Like I can feel a shift happening, so I'm not quite sure what's happening with the channel right now. Thank you for bearing with me while I kind of figure it out for myself. But yeah, this kind of spiritual incubation is what I'm calling it. And I have been tapping into this really strong, powerful, divine feminine energy, which is what this reading seems to be about. I want to say this is something that is in all of us. We all have a Venus placement, and Venus is the goddess of love and beauty and romance and desire and all these kind of inherent feminine qualities. So it doesn't matter how you present in terms of sex and gender, we all have a Venus placement, and I'd really encourage you to go and check out what your Venus placement is. There's a link in my bio so you can go and check out your birth chart. Just look at your Venus placement for now if it's a bit overwhelming, and lean into it, embrace it, love how you love. Venus is very much how you love, how you it's a big part of what attracts you, and what you do when you feel that attraction. But yeah, this is coming through with this absolutely gorgeous, like mother, love, blossoming, abundant empress energy, which is absolutely just beautiful. In fact, as I was tidying up my previous cards that I'd been using kind of off camera, the empress came out, so 100%. And we've got divine feminine here as well, so absolute feminine energy. So what I really want to talk about is how divine feminine is not one thing. There's not one way that this looks. Divine feminine physically is not necessarily Kim Kardashian or Kate Moss or I don't know, Doja Cat, or I can't think of other people, right? It doesn't look like one thing. It's all women and all representations of the feminine. And I think what's happening now in our current culture is the idea of what it means to be a woman, or what it means to be feminine, is a lot broader than kind of it was, say, 10, 20, 50, 100 years ago. It was a much more fixed term. So with this more encompassing idea of the feminine, or of like womanhood itself, I really want to say there's no one way that it looks, but it's to do with it's an energy. It's like when people embrace their sensuality, when people embrace their body, when people embrace their nurturing, loving, passionate qualities. It's very Queen of Wands. I'm semi-surprised that the Queen of Wands hasn't come out, but I'd say that the Empress represents all four queens of the tarot. So, you know, she embodies the energy of the Queen of Wands along with all the other queens. So I want to say that this is really kind of like peak earth mother, right? Peak earth goddess, peak representation of the divine feminine Venus energy on earth. So I want to say maybe some of you have been going through a leveling up of your feminine side, of your Venus placement, and all that kind of good stuff. So I've got a few other things out here as well. So with the Empress, we got fire and owl. So this is talking to me not only about feeling that ace of fire, feeling the passion, you know, embracing your sexuality, your femininity, your like your desires, your sensuality, but knowing what to do with it. The owl knows, right? So it's almost, it has the feeling of the only feminine card that's higher than the Empress in the tarot is the High Priestess, but I feel like the reading almost starts with this High Priestess work where it's like going inward, going into the it's coming through with going inward, right? Finding the sacred feminine within, and then almost like pulling it down into our reality. It's like birthing. It's like meditating, touching the divine and pulling it down and make it and embodying it and injecting it into your environment is the way it's coming through. So it's like having this power, having this really strong divine gift, right, which can be your passion, your desire, your motivation, kind of the Mars energy, but doing it in this kind of empowered feminine way. Having the knowledge of how to handle it is the way it's coming through. Now what's interesting is we also have the Purity card, Unicorn, Now, the purity card talks to me about not the naive self, right? Not the, some of you may know the symbolism of the deer for me is the naive feminine, right? The child feminine. This is somebody who, even though perhaps they've had that part of themselves attacked, even though they've had to, self-protect the naive, innocent part of themselves, it's like that sweetness is still within them. It's how do I explain this? It's the embodiment of the woman, right? The embodiment of, Aphrodite, Venus energy in full form, but within it is contained the innocence and the purity of the child self. So I've been getting all these messages. We've even got this apple tree or peach apricot tree here as well. I've been getting this message, I think I talked about it in my last reading, of Schrodinger's Eve. It's they're giving me, I'm every woman, it's all in me, anything you want done, baby. So yeah, it's Eve, I think there's a film coming out called Eve as well, so I may be touching on that. But there's the embodiment of Eve, right? And Eve being like every woman, right? The representative of every woman, no matter what she looks like, no matter what she does, no matter what her choices are, she's every woman. And Schrodinger's Eve for me is the Eve, the innocent dear Eve, right? The virginal, naive, vulnerable Eve that was before the apple, and then the temptress Eve, right? The Eve that came after the apple of knowledge, after the wisdom, after the enlightenment, after the the knowledge of everything that was in the world, and she had to become the woman version of herself. So it's like these two concepts of, again, looking back in history, the idea of like the angel and the devil woman, but these being embodied as one, right? It's like one energy, and perhaps you just look at one dimension of the feminine as a whole. Does that make any sense? So yeah, it's the Empress is... She is the temptress, right? She is the queen of fire, but within that is the sweet innocent self. And that's what the purity card means to me. It's somebody who stays good even in the darkness, right? It's like they protect that part of themselves. And with the white color, it's really coming through as you can see here, cosmic womb, the divine feminine. It's almost like the pearl in the rose. If you imagine, if you've ever seen like perhaps a like a corsage or something, it's like a rose, because we've got all this rose energy starting the reading over here. So it's like the rose, but at the center of the rose is the pure white light, right? The divine feminine, the pure self. And then it's all the flowers, all the petals of the flower are like the embodiment of this, or peeling back the layers, or the demonstrations of how we enact that in the 3D world. I don't know if I'm making a huge amount of sense here. It's quite a big message that's coming through, and again, I've kind of been off doing my own thing. So we're getting a lot of this, all the different representations of divine feminine on earth, right? How we think of feminine. So not only do we have this, she's representing as Cora to me. So if you watch the last reading, the idea of the maidens who are the priestess of ancient Greece, for some reason it's coming with the word Cora or Korai, which I don't think... To me, it's a memory. To me, it's a memory of something that I've read when I was doing classics, but I cannot find the specific reference. The only reference I could find was Cora was a word for maiden in ancient Greece, and it was a title given to Persephone, who is the goddess of the underworld, which is going to come back into play here soon. So we have that, right? The Venuses, the Aphrodites, the Persephones. And then like here on the underline of this deck, we've also got this Holy Grail card, which talks to me about like Mother Mary kind of energy, right? That kind of energy. Stop the endless searching, inner quest. It's like God's light is already within us. And then we have this deer here on this card as well. Again, the deer talks about the innocent feminine, the naive feminine to me, the maiden energy, but it's like it's within. And then this rose here is like this brilliant red. So it's like, again, I don't know if it's like generational mothers, grandmothers protecting mothers, protecting granddaughters, passing on the knowledge of sacred femininity. And again, I want to say that men are not being excluded by this reading. Everybody has a Venus placement. Venus placement is the embodiment of the divine feminine within all of us. So again, I'm not excluding any gender here. I really need to stress that. So it's like tapping into this. So no matter what your outer conditions are, no matter what your relationship perhaps with your mother, your sisters, your friends, your people you're in a relationship with, it doesn't matter. They're all representative of the one energy, right? Which is very yeah, one of the songs that came through was that Maggie Lindermann song, Pretty Girl. I can drink, I can smoke, I say what's on my mind. I'm more than just a pretty girl, right? So it's this idea of like peeling back the layers and finding out more and more about the depth of a person and the depth of what a woman can be, and not trying to constrain that or fit divine feminine energy into boxes. Divine feminine energy does not fit into boxes. Empress energy does not fit into boxes, right? They are like a goddess on earth. You cannot contain that, right? You cannot confine that. It is what it is. It's not something that can be controlled. It's divine. So it's beyond the confines of humanity or the judgment of feminine or anything like that. So just absolutely gorgeous. And then I've got all these, just pulled these out myself just to kind of demonstrate. Oh, actually, before I do that, again, these were all on the underline: the Holy Grail, the unicorn, and the sovereignty, all on the underlying. And again, the idea here, if we just look underneath that, the idea of peeling back the layers and seeing beyond the surface, beyond the mask that people wear in the 3D world, and seeing the inner depths of someone, because it's all going on internally. So yeah, showing up like the Emperor, showing up as the Queen, being the sovereign of your own life, all that good stuff. And then this is just, I went through this deck and kind of like pulled out representations of the divine feminine in different cultures around the world. So just to kind of again say there's no one way that this looks. So we've got Goddess Kuan Yin, compassion, kindness, divine mercy. Goddess Lakshmi, prosperity, beauty, fortune, and she has that lotus flower in her hand, gorgeous. Goddess Isis, resurrection, magic, fertility. Archangel Christiel, higher consciousness, light, and Christ light. So again, this is coming through really with that kind of Christ light unicorn energy, the core energy. Again, this idea of core. I'm getting a lot of references to apples as well, apple core. Mary Magdalene, even, who's a very controversial feminine, but again, absolutely a representative of divine feminine Venus energy on earth, divine feminine devotion and sacred sexuality. So not just any old sexuality, sacred sexuality, the sexuality of the goddess Venus Aphrodite. She knows, right? She knows that her body, her womanhood, her fertility is a gift. It's a gift that is bestowed on humanity, and it's a gift that she can use and she can control. Gorgeous. Mother Mary, purity of the heart, conception and faith. And so really a lot of different examples of what the divine energy can be and how it can show up, and that there's no right or wrong. Schrodinger's Eve, right? So I think I need to pause and regather my thoughts. No, I don't. I've got it. So I was getting this message. I saw in a vision this beautiful angel in the snow. She was wearing a white dress, very, very tall, very angelic looking, as though Mother Mary appeared in front of you, right? But she had these enormous black wings, like Maleficent. And I was given this message that if God wanted to go in and save souls, right? If there were certain people who God was like, right, I want them on my team, right? That person there, they've fallen into darkness, we're going to go and rescue them. Like, he would have to send his angels, right, who are representative as feminine angels in this message. He would have to send them into dark places. So we're really talking about almost like warrior women, right? Like Xenas, almost like the Mary Magdalene energy. It's like if people think of angels as being like this almost, right? If people think of angels as being completely divine and pure and just angelic and innocent, I don't think that's a good conception of what angels are, especially if you kind of have looked at the Bible. A lot of the time the angels are warriors, right? So they're going to go into almost like that, that song by Billie Eilish where she's like, all good girls go to hell because God herself has enemies. And so it's like these these warrior angels being sent into hell to go and retrieve people who have fallen too far into the darkness. It's very cool, but it's also, this angel that I saw, it was also carrying the energy of divine retribution. So almost vengeful. So I don't like the idea of divine retribution and vengefulness, but again, it had the idea of like a, I don't know, it's like bringing the light into dark places, right? It's almost like this, divine feminine energy was beyond the darkness of the human reality, right? It was like it's like the divine in a dark place. I can't really explain it any better than that. Hopefully it's coming through as intended by my messages, my guides. Again, it's not my job to care about how these messages are received. It's my job to deliver them. You know, it's other people's job to interpret them and apply it in their own lives as they see fit. Okay, I'm just drinking green tea. Again, this idea of like cleansing, purity, reset, that's coming through. So let's go to the cards. We've got this energy, all this rose energy that's starting the reading. So again, I shuffled quite a few different decks. The cards came out. And if you just look at how the cards lie on the table, we start with all this rose energy. So the cards come out, I reshuffle them, and then they come out as they want to. So we start with all this kind of like beautiful kind of whites and purple and pinks, like this gorgeous rose energy. And then we go to this darkness energy down here, which is really curious. But then up here, we've got the kind of purpley colours coming back in, kind of pastel colours coming back in. So what I want to say we start with is the inner work, right? So it's almost like connecting with the purity within, connecting with the Christ consciousness within, whatever you want to call it. Again, perhaps you're not particularly religious, or you follow a religion that doesn't believe in Christ. I have to have words to explain things. So divine, right? The pure divine seed within, right? So, and connecting to that through meditation or dreams, or just doing the inner work, right, through rest. So that's how we're starting. So the feminine, the Empress at rest, very much like some of you may know, that's this beautiful image on the Tarot de la Nuit, right? The resting Empress, the sleeping beauty, the sleeping princess. So the Empress at rest, connecting to the beyond, right? To the divine, to, I want to say, the other side, to the spiritual realm that's not part of this like solid reality. So the psychic realm, all those kinds of things. So the other place is what I'm probably going to call it in this reading, the other place. So excuse me, sorry, that green tea is making me burp. So then the first card is the Rose Garden. Innocence, forgiveness, be gentle with yourself. So again, this energy of cleansing, talking about the green tea, cleansing, forgiving yourself, forgiving your own sins, right? Connecting to that energy within, the divine within, and going through, maybe through meditation or spiritual work, or through a help of a healthcare professional, like forgiving yourself from within, right? It's no good applying things to the outside. Say, for example, you had some kind of deep wound, like a deep physical wound. It'd be no good applying topical treatments if you don't deal with the root of the problem. You've got to get to the root of the problem and heal from the inside out. So it's talking about healing from the inside out, especially with the purity card being here. And even underneath the Holy Grail, again, the Holy Grail is found within. Stop the endless searching, inner quest. There's this fertile void card here as well. Inner winter, rest, patience, potency, secret beginnings. I love that. Rest, patience, potency. So again, it's this divine seed being planted within us all, I want to say. And then we have this void. So it's like, even if it looks like nothing's happened, something's happening below the surface. I'm just going to keep that out, actually. So yeah, the Rose Garden, going in, forgiving ourselves from within, finding, not needing perhaps a priest to give us absolution, but through like meditation and doing this inner work, doing the shadow work, forgiving ourselves from within, glowing from the inside out, which was literally in one of the songs. So go and check out your songs down below, but there was a line that said that as well. Let me just find it. someone lit from within. So this was Snow on the Beach by Taylor Swift and Lana Del Rey. And it says, you wanting me tonight feels impossible, but it's coming down. No sound, it's all around. Like snow on the beach. What is it? Weird but kind of beautiful. This scene feels like what I once saw on a screen. I searched Aurora Borealis green. I've never seen someone lit from within, blurring out my periphery. So this idea of like someone lit from within. I want to say that's you, the viewer. Again, don't worry about your gender. Finding that almost like the Mother Mary forgiveness, right? Connecting with those divine energies, your angels, your passed over loved ones who loved you, your spirit guides, whatever you want to say, God energy, and allowing yourself to cleanse from within. Really, really beautiful. And then we have all these other cards as well. So like the return, a new story, you decide, alignment is coming together. So again, it's coming through. I'm seeing the Wheel of Fortune a lot off camera. So again, it's like cycle change. It doesn't matter who you were. I was listening to that Teenage Whore song by Hole this morning when I was a teenage whore. So again, it's like no matter, let go of your past. This is a moment of change. This is a moment of renewal. This is a moment of a clean slate. You get to decide from this point on, like what choices you're going to make, how you're going to live your life. It doesn't matter who you were when you were 15, 20, 25. What matters is who you are right now today. Okay? And making choices from that space. So yeah, it is like, I want to say when you've done that spiritual work, when you achieve enlightenment, right? As a human being on earth, perhaps through doing Tantra. I had a song about Tantra that I'd never heard before. It's one of those random songs that Spotify throws in there, hoping you'll like. So yeah, it's like, it's almost like God's going, right, they did it. Clean slate time. Off you go. New choices. Tomorrow is another day. And then you've even got like, so yeah, connecting to that, it's like if you're meditating, almost like, it's funny, Santaro had this in their reading yesterday, in their Libra reading. It was like, turn the dial, right? Turn the dial as you're meditating. Find the right frequency. Maybe you do play music, right? Find the right music. Find the right frequency. Find the right tone. Until you hit that cosmic womb energy, right? Again, here, it's like, almost like the scales. Can you see here with the energy running through them, representing all the different chakras? It's like almost like tuning forks, like tuning scales. You may find that certain notes hit certain chakras for you. You may be going up to like soul star chakra and things like that. But get grounded. High empaths, highly sensitives connect with nature. So it is talking about this ability you have to connect to magic, to connect to spirit, to connect to energies that are beyond human conception and definition, and like beyond what we call reality, right? This is like other. And anything that we don't understand yet, anything that science hasn't discovered yet, we call magic. Magic is just things that science hasn't figured out yet, right? So it's like once upon a time people called electricity magic. Once upon a time people, if a Victorian saw a cell phone, a mobile phone, they'd call it magic, right? Witchcraft. So magic is just what, science that hasn't caught up. Let's see. You have this energy of, in meditation, in dream, as you let your imagination wander, which is actually the default setting of the brain. So a lot of studies are actually proving that when your brain is engaged in day-to-day activities, for example, me now, pulling cards, reading on camera, performing, all that kind of stuff, doing the dishes, worrying about getting the kids' school uniform ready, all those kind of things, all the things that preoccupy our brain in the reality is actually our brain out of its default setting. Our brain's default setting, the natural state for the brain to be, is using our imagination, dreaming, resting, fantasizing. That's actually what our brain is built for. That's what the brain is naturally, it's the default setting. It's what our brain is supposed to do. So again, it's almost like our reality is the distraction from the true power of our brain. Again, like, I'm just a tarot card reader, just spurting stuff that I'd kind of like randomly read on the internet, but I'm sure you can go and look that up and you'll probably start to find the papers. So yeah, so it's like in these moments of meditation, connecting to this sky dancer energy, which I want to say is plural, right? Sky dancers, and gathering around the power of community. So you could, if you watch my last reading, this idea of my last two readings, this idea of like the divine compass, and almost feeling out the energy of that's around you. So do you have certain spirit guides, certain energies around you? Where are they positioned? And this idea of repositioning and recalibrating along with, you know, your spiritual team. So again, this idea of surrendering, the moment of surrender in meditation or tantra, right, where you just go along with it, you just allow whatever's coming in to come in, and then sensing these, it's like, again, it's like angels or fairies or ghosts or these things that are flittering around you, right? It's like they're putting on a show almost, or something like that. But then there's something going on with this. Can you see like the underside of the mushroom? I'm seeing this as like the underside of the mushroom. It's like maybe something that can only be seen in a certain light, or something that is only revealed through a certain lens, or found in a certain frequency. Because this idea of like it's like almost like the portal being open. So perhaps during meditation you do open a portal that allows things to come through from the other side, because this is kind of here with the straddling worlds card. So I'm going to kind of round back into that. But again, it's just in meditations, like opening up the cosmic womb and allowing these things to go in and out of this portal is the way it's coming through. I don't know, magic. So then come to me. Attracting like a rose, receive abundance desires. So this is talking about activating the Venus energy, right, which is a gift within all of us. We all have a Venus placement. How yours operates depends on which sign it falls in. So for example, my Venus placement is Libra, so I've got kind of like double Aphrodite energy, Venus and Libra. It's Libra's ruled by Venus. So this energy of beauty, of sensuality, of opulence almost. It happened to me today, where I was looking at Alexander McQueen's website. So Alexander McQueen, my favorite fashion designer, very much I see fashion as art, and as like almost like high art, right? So it's like, if you look at paintings and fashion, it's like these things that are, their purpose is to be beautiful. They serve no other purpose other than to be beautiful, to speak to our soul, to speak to something inside us, whether that is a gorgeous dress that really emphasizes a woman's femininity and, you know, brings out feelings of desire, or if it's just a beautiful painting that makes us cry because it brings out some kind of emotion. There's a power in beauty, right? There's a reason why we have Venus placement and Venus energy in the world, is to make us feel something, whether that's love or desire. Like both are equally valuable when applied correctly. Again, just to say, you've got fire and the owl. It's all about the knowledge of how to apply it. So I talk a lot about the arts, and how the arts are underfunded, and how this, I feel, damages our souls, because it doesn't, you know, it's keeping us in that kind of like stressed, low vibrational, I've got to earn money, you know, environment, where to have something that is beautiful for the sake of being beautiful, which we find everywhere in nature. Nature constantly shows us that things can be beautiful for the sake of being beautiful. There's a song as well, I think it's a Taylor Swift song, that says, I think it's The Lake by Taylor Swift, and she talks about a flower blooming with no one around to take a picture of it. You know, the idea of things being beautiful for, like, literally purely for the sake of being beautiful, and not to be monetized, or not to be controlled, or even desired, right? It's like beauty should be allowed to flourish and blossom. So yeah, again, it's talking about utilizing this energy on a personal level, understanding the power of being in Empress energy. And again, this doesn't mean you have to be a woman, or represent as a woman. Men can use this power of attraction as well. It's like being the honey, right? It's like, rather than going out and trying to catch flies with a little tiny net, which is very Mars energy, right? It's active. Mars energy is like the doer. So it's like, I want some flies, I'm going to go out and catch them. Venus energy is, or Empress energy is the receiver. So it's like, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to cover myself in honey, and before you know it, excuse me, all those flies are going to come to me. Now, I don't know why anyone would need flies, right? But it could be anything. It's like just sitting there in that Empress energy. And again, it goes beyond physical beauty. It's like the beautiful energy, the energy of attraction and abundance and sensuality and beauty and love, right? Really tapping into those kind of like serotonin, oxytocin parts of the brain that make us happy. Again, there's a value to this. This isn't like, oh, Barbie, she's disposable, throw her away. It's like there's purpose in the happiness, there's purpose in the joy, there's purpose in the desire. These are all things that you're meant to feel as a human. So God gave us roses because he wanted us to stop and smell them, right? Do you see what I mean? So it's like, whatever this is for you, whatever your Venus placement is, lean into it. So again, for me, the idea of beauty for the sake of being beauty, you know, Libra in Venus, it's a very luxurious, very indulgent placement. So for me, it could be go and walk around an art gallery, right? Spend a day in leisure viewing beautiful art. So that would be me leaning into my Libra Venus placement. At the end of the reading, if I've got time, I'll kind of like run through. If I don't have time in this reading, I'll do a separate reading where I run through everybody's Venus placements and give you individual advice. So again, it'll either be in the end of this video or maybe tomorrow or early next week, a Venus video, Venus placement video. So yeah, come to me. This idea of like the power of attraction, the power of desire, utilizing it, pulling in, I don't know if it's like pulling in spirits. Again, if you look at my last reading, the idea of like spirits being around me, like pulling in spirits or pulling in just positive energy towards you, perhaps. I don't know, putting it out there and seeing what comes out, you know, like fishing rods kind of thing. Like, I don't know, coat something with honey, stick it outside, see what you attract. Maybe you're going to get some birds, maybe you're going to get some butterflies. I don't know. Obviously, you don't want to get anything stuck in it. Like, I don't know if I like that analogy. So again, like with the Ace of Fire, it's like this, it comes in with the divine feminine, right? It comes in with this seed, the fertile void. So it's like, I don't know if you feel like you've been going through a void period of your life. I don't know if you've been going through a dark night of the soul. I don't know if you've been going through a bout of, you know, feeling really low, or feeling like nothing's happening. But it's like there's I'm hearing sparks of beauty. There's sparks of beauty in the void. So it's like, yes, it looks like nothing's happening, but I want to say there's something that's like shielded from your view. So do you remember how I was talking about this idea of like the top down, if you look at the mushrooms from the top down, maybe they just look like plain brown mushrooms, maybe they like blend in with the mud. But if you look at them from the underside, you see all the magic, right? So it's the same thing is kind of happening here with this. Can you see how these three cards, it's like something's, it's like there is a moon there, right? But it's blocking, it's like it's blocking the Ace of Fire. So the Ace of Fire I'm seeing is the seed, right? So it's like this spark, maybe it's like a spark of creativity, maybe it's like an idea you've had, or maybe it's something that you're very passionate about, something you want to do. And again, maybe it hasn't occurred to you yet, but I want to say it is coming in. It's like it's right there. And so you feel like you're sat in the darkness, but if you just remove that cap, it's almost like the lens of a telescope or something. It's like if you move that shield out of the way, or you flip that coin around, can you see how it's like almost like the light is shining around it there? It's like the light in the darkness. Again, long night, darkness, the void. Like it is like long dark night of the soul energy. If some of you are experiencing that, I know it's tough. You will get through it. I've had one myself. And then it's like this opens up, right? It's like the moon, like this thing that was like shielding it, it kind of like moves out of the way. And it's like that portal opens, right? It's like you see it. You see whatever the Ace of Fire is representing. And I want to say there's something about the Ace of Fire representing this expansion energy. Again, this idea of like the seed, right? So I need to say with this card here, a lot of cards came out from that deck, and I took the ones that were face up and I looked at the ones that were face down and put them back in. But two of the ones that were face down were these Holy Grail and Fertile Void. And because they've come out on the bottom of the deck, I feel like they do want to be shown and be part of this reading. So just to kind of make that clear. So yeah, this idea of like the seed in the void. It's like, yes, it's a void. So again, it could be the idea of like, maybe people thinking you're wasting your time. Like, why are you sitting there in meditation? Why are you taking an hour of your day and just sitting there listening to music? It's like, what is the purpose of that? What is the point of that? You know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. But I want to say it's this gestation period, and it's a divine gestation period where you're finding that energy within, right? You're finding that seed of, it's like the spark of creation, or the seed of the divine. It's like through meditation, through Tantra, through going inwards. Again, that in like, it's like what you're doing is divine, right? So don't stop doing it. It's like it's almost like each of these stars is a seed, right? It's almost like the pinpricks of light coming through in some sort of way. Have you ever heard that sort thing about is it like a hummingbird? There's a story, it's like a myth about, I want to say it's a hummingbird, and it flies up to the sky, and it's like the sky has this black covering, and it starts to like jab its beak through the sky, and as it does so, all these pinpricks of light come through. So it's an old tale about how the stars came to be, right? It's through the almost audacity of this hummingbird, I think it's a hummingbird, to go and jab holes in the sky so that the divine can come through. And I want to say there's something like that happening there as well. So it's like, it's not a void, it's not nothing, right? It's the fertile void. The fertile is, and again, the idea of secret beginnings. It's like it's like the divine coming down to earth and just being breathed into life, right? And it's like it's like people don't see it coming. So it's like this seed that is being completely ignored or completely dismissed. It's like, as no one's looking, it's like something to do with it. It's doing it in secret, right? You know, nobody's looking, and so underneath the soil, in the darkness of night, that seed is being planted. That ace of fire, which again is like a spark of ideas, of creativity, of passion. It's like it's just being planted, and it's going to expand, right? So it's going to suddenly expand into this life-giving, like out of the fertile soil, this new tree is sprouting, and it's life-giving. Like there's a bird here who's feeding off the fruit of this tree. It's a life-giving tree, right? So this idea of expansion and abundance, and from that one seed, like each of this fruit is going to contain its own seed, right? And all those seeds can go on to be new trees. So it's something of great potential, which is the meaning of the Empress card, right? The Empress is a card of abundance. So then there's something coming through. I'm just going to take a sip of my drink. Hold on. As I was doing that, I was hearing new wave feminism. Now, I'm not quite sure what exactly the term new wave feminism means. I know what feminism means to me, you know, and but I know the way I'm seeing it is, it's like, perhaps it is talking about like actual women being in gestation now. So it could be literally women who are about to be born, right? And perhaps this new, you know, these little girls, right? These babies, right, who are being born, and not even little girls as well, whatever feminine means to you, right? This new wave of children being born, perhaps being born with this, almost like that film Heroes, right? It's like these babies being born with this divine light inside them, like these babies who are a gift to the world, a gift to the universe, you know, these children who contain the magic. You know, it could be that these seeds are being scattered in some sort of way. You know, maybe it's people who carry some kind of divine energy within the DNA. Maybe it's everybody, but it's maybe like something we're going to see about the next wave of, like the next generation could carry this almost divine energy within them, and it could come through physically, like manifesting on earth as many different empresses. You know, I mentioned at the start of the reading all these great you know, famous women, Doja Cat, Lana Del Rey, Taylor Swift, I don't know, whoever you think of as like the ultimate feminine, right? But it's like they come in many shapes and sizes and genders and forms. So there could be something like that happening. So I want to say back to the moments of meditation, back to perhaps the moments of meditation where you connect with the divine feminine within others. it's like, I don't know, again, if people have this idea of like being an ugly duckling. So in my readings, especially Aries readings, you get these messages a lot of ugly duckling, or somebody who doesn't feel like they fit in, they don't feel like they fit the mold of the current day beauty standards, which I think are very, very narrow. So especially if you look at Western beauty standards, there tends to be, because we have things like Instagram now and these influencers, there tends to be a mold of what it is to be beautiful, and it tends to be a very, very fixed representation of beauty. And I want to say that this is driven by commercialism and consumerism, capitalism, because you have a big beauty industry now. You have makeup, you have you know, fitness and health, you know, you have these are like industry products, you know, fitness products, health drinks, health foods. You have cosmetic surgery, which is at an all-time high, you know, minor cosmetic surgery like lip fillers, you know, Botox. You can get fillers in your jawline to change the shape of your jawline. Go and look at some influencers, like if you go and look at Stephanie Lang, she talks about a lot of these, they're called tweakments, you know, tweakments to the shape of your eye. And these girls are getting this done at like 16, you know, having the eye change, the nose change, lip fillers, changing the shape of the jaw. If you look at K-pop industry as well, it's rife in the K-pop industry. All these like tiny modifications to very young girls' faces. And then what you sometimes find is these young girls grow into the faces, you know, they finish developing at the age of like 25, and they look fucking weird because they had the treatment done before their faces stopped growing. So it's like everything's out of proportion, they look freaky. And then of course they have to have more treatments, which makes more money for the cosmetic and beauty industry, guys. Do you see what's happening here? Do you see the fault in our stars on this one? So I think that there's going to be a bit of a backlash. I can already see it happening, where people are embracing diversity again. People are embracing unique and original faces. And really there's a backlash in terms of like reclaiming what it means to be beautiful and seeing the beauty within all of us. You know, all of us can have that glow up energy, and it doesn't mean that you have to have surgery or spend a lot of money. You know, maybe this girl goes shopping in vintage shops, right? Maybe she's a dressmaker. Maybe she goes buying old clothes in charity shops for what, a couple of quid. She's got a sewing machine, she recreates it, and she looks absolutely gorgeous doing so. Maybe this girl, she you know, her grandma was very fashionable back in like the 40s, and she has all these like Chanel pieces, and she repurposes her grandma's wardrobe and looks absolutely stunning doing it. You know, maybe this girl shops at H&M, maybe this girl steals a boyfriend's hoodie. You know, it's like they all look gorgeous, and they're doing it in their own way, and they all have different physical features. Like, yeah, they've all got the big lips, but you don't need that, right? You don't have to have that. So this ugly duckling energy, it's really seeing your inner beauty, the divine feminine that you are, and how that is embodied in your body. You're more than just a pretty girl, right? So, you know, there's a lot of beauty is more than just skin deep, right? Beauty is something that goes right to our core. And I think that if you're a beautiful person and you embrace that Venus energy, it comes out in the way that your body moves. It comes out in the, you know, the way that your face reacts to things. You know, there's like an energy, it's an energy, and that energy can move your body in ways that's beautiful, and it goes beyond kind of if you're having a good hair day or a bad hair day, right? Okay, my phone ran out of battery, so I'm on my other phone. The bin men have just been and gone as well. So all that noise will stop in a second. So yeah, I want to say there's something happening here where we're not allowing ourselves to think of ourselves as the ugly ducklings anymore. Guys, I thought they were done, and they're not done, are they? I mean, the heroes we don't deserve, right? The bin men, like, think about COVID and how much we appreciate people who perhaps weren't appreciated before that. Like the bin men are doing they are doing like a hero's job down there. Okay, so this idea of like not allowing ourselves to see ourselves as an ugly duckling anymore, but to see our own inner swan, to see our own inner beauty, to see our own divine feminine, right? To looking out in the mirror and think, you're fucking beautiful, you're doing well, girl. You know, you're doing, girl, boy, whoever, you're doing the best you can. You are beautiful, you are deserving. You know, your love is something that should be valued. Your love is something that is divine. Your desires deserve recognition. And even if nobody else recognizes your beauty and your talents and your potential, you do, right? You fucking do. because you see what's wrong with the world, and you're not going to fit in with that anymore. You're not going to bend to fit in other people's beauty standards because they want to make money off you, right? You're over that. So I want to say that there's this resistance. It's like back from the dead, you know. If you look at these, it's like almost like if they thought you were dead and buried, you're breaking out, right? You're breaking out. It's like a zombie, but like a beautiful zombie who's like this swan. I don't know how how it makes sense, but it's like resisting it, standing up, reclaiming what it means to be a woman, to be feminine, to carry that divine feminine energy. And again, this isn't about men hating. I'm saying again, just to repeat it for those in the back who weren't listening, we all have a Venus placement. Venus placement is divine feminine. We all have a Venus placement, right? So, you know, reclaiming it, being like coming back from the dead, back out of that dark night of the soul, coming out fighting, right? And but as you reach up, as you stand up for yourself, as you really tap into that Ace of Fire energy within, and you think, I'm here I am, I'm making this stand, I'm breaking through, I'm reaching out. As you do that, it's like there's another hand there that reaches it back to you. It's like reaching out your hand and someone embracing it, right, and picking you up. And it's just like the community's there for you, is the way it's coming through. It's like there's people coming to help. So hang on, what was there? Oh, then the Ace of Fire. So it's beautiful. And then there's this wonderful idea of like straddling worlds. Again, I want to say it's like something to do with like, you see it's like half in one place, half in the other, like the idea of like the reality and the imagination realm or the spirit realm or something like that. And can you see how it's all these are two different decks, guys? So how it's all purple here, it's like this energy of like, it's like pulling others through, right? So it's like that portal opens. I don't know, maybe something like breaking the glass ceiling, right? It's like as you punch through, as you reach out, you feel someone holding your hand, and like they pull you through, or you pull you through. I'm just like, it's one energy, but I'm seeing it as like halfway in, halfway out, right? So it's like, it's almost like coming up for air, coming out of your own emotions, out of your own shadow realm, out of your own water realm, which talks about your emotions, your inner work, like coming up for air, and someone grabbing your hand and pulling you through, right? But then again, it's like this chain is the way I'm seeing it, because there's others. It's like this is the magic that you have. I don't quite fully understand it, but however it resonates, right, is the message. It's like because you're able through your spiritual work, through your shadow work, through your meditation, to open up this, it's like a pinprick of light, right? You can find the right vibration, you can grab onto it, and like you can open it up so that, excuse me a sec, my son. So yeah, so this idea of like again, like smashing through this glass ceiling and pulling others through. Again, this idea of like it being generational. Seeing others do it means that, you know, seeing you do it means that others can feel empowered to do it too. It feels really big and important and beautiful. And again, it's this idea of like opening up the potential of the feminine so that others can see it and value it. Either that, or you're literally like pulling people through a portal, or like it's like an opportunity. It's like you're gonna, if you think it's out of reach, there's people who are gonna like pull you through it, something like that. So I want to say that I think in the past 10 years or so, there's been maybe a bit longer than that, there has been a rejection of the feminine, especially like typical feminine. And so if you look at trends, you can see almost a pushback on that. So there's two trends now. There's Barbie core and bimbo core, which are saying, do you know what? Maybe I am a stupid blonde, right? Maybe I am a stupid blonde who cares about, you know, not stupid, but, you know, maybe I am not that well educated. Maybe I do just want to be a housewife and cook my husband tea and raise the kids and wear pink and wear makeup. What is wrong with that? That doesn't make me a bad person, right? So I think where this concept of people who are Barbie like or bimbo like has been dismissed, you know, or ridiculed or laughed at. It's now being something that is celebrated, and deservedly so, because to be a feminist or to be an empowered woman doesn't mean you have to be like a man, which I think if you look at people like Margaret Thatcher, perhaps, you know, you don't have to do what the men are doing to be an empowered feminine. You can keep doing what could be considered typically feminine, and do it and stand in your power and do it that way. So again, I'm not talking about boxes. I am not talking about limits. I'm not saying what people can and can't do. And that's the main point of the reading. Feminine energy, empowered divine feminine energy, can do whatever she wants to do. There is no right or wrong. She's, again, Schrodinger's Eve can come in many different forms. And if one of them wants to look like, I don't know, Margot Robbie in The Wolf of Wall Street and do it that way, you know, that's her journey. If another wants to join the army and be like, I don't know, what's Goldie Hawn is Saving Private Ryan, or like, if someone wants to be Doja Cat, or someone wants to be, just thinking of like different people, different examples, like a banker or a football player or a healthcare worker or a teacher, or there's no right or wrong, right? And we should stop telling other women what to do and start celebrating them for whatever it is they are doing and however they choose to live their life, and stop trying to give them goals that maybe are just a projection of our own goals onto them. So I big one up for the women here. And again, this is not about men hating. It's about embracing the divine feminine within and the qualities that we would particularly perceive as feminine, and understanding that this isn't something that we should push away from. So really like that reading, guys. Do check out your Venus placements. I may as well do some a quick thing for all the different signs. So I'm not talking about your sun sign here, but if you don't know your Venus placement, if you can't be bothered looking it up and you want to just read for your sun sign, absolutely do that. If you are, I would strongly advise you to go and find out what your Venus placement is. And I'm going to go through all the signs, pull one card, maybe a couple more cards will come out, and say, this is how you lean into it. This is how you lean into your Venus energy. This is what your Venus energy wants you to do. So what is the seed for Aries? People who have Venus Aries, find balance. Be more Libra. Libra is the opposing sign. Find balance. What is your Venus energy, right? Your love, your desire, things that you find beautiful. Where is that pulling you? What do you feel naturally like you want to lean into? And what in your life needs to be balanced against that? So find the balance. Taurus, please. People who have Venus in Taurus. King of Pentacles, keep doing what you're doing. Venus in Taurus is a placement of again, Taurus is ruled by Venus, as is Libra. So both of these signs, both of these placements really love luxury. They really love opulence, abundance. They, particularly with Taurus being an earth sign, really likes the finer things in life. So if you're trying to seduce someone with a Taurus Venus placement, you want to bring them their favorite chocolates, their favorite food. Again, like, think luxury, think perfection. So you know, their favorite drinks, their favorite, it's funny, I've been doing this on Twitter. I was like, what would your wish list be if you could ask Father Christmas for anything? And it's like luxury products, what would you ask them for? But like luxury and quality, very important to Taurus Venus placements. So don't feel bad about that. Don't feel guilty about that. If you're all about the finest things in life, then that is absolutely fine. And yeah, it's an energy of that feeling very dependable and solid with the King of Pentacles there. So do more of that, yeah? Indulge yourself. You deserve it. Your divine feminine within deserves it. So what about Gemini Venus placements, please? Temperance, so very similar to Aries. Don't just dive into something. Gemini is a really enthusiastic energy. So Gemini and Venus together is like head over heels in love, like diving right in, let's go on an adventure. This is saying you may emotionally be being pulled one way, and your desire may be pulling you in a different way. Maybe look at your Mars placement for desire, because Mars and Venus cover desire. So you may have to find some balance with this. You may want to ease into whatever you're feeling like that heart pull towards. Ease into it slowly. Don't throw all your eggs into one basket. Have a little taste, you know, and Be patient with that. What do we have, please, for Cancer Venus placements? Nine of Cups. Love yourself first. Cancer Venus placements. You are a sign that holds on to love. You cling to love. You grab at love. And you can have codependency issues in relationships. When you get into that Nine of Cups energy of really, like that card, where's it gone? Understanding that whatever you're searching for, it's already within you. You already carry that energy within your own heart. Love is all around. When you can self-soothe, self-heal, you really come into really high vibrational Cancer Venus energy, which is very divine feminine. Cancer energy carries divine feminine energy. And you are going to give the best kind of love. But you have to deal with those attachment issues and the fear of losing the things that you love first, because you need to get into this Nine of Cups energy to really get into the true Ten of Cups energy. I hope that helps. Venus Cancer, it's like one of those placements. It's either a blessing or a curse, depending on the vibration level. Leos, lovely Leos. So, oh my God, Leo Venus placement, that is big-hearted and generous. I can feel it. I can feel the energy of Leo Venus. That is like, it's like a very abundant kind of love. It's quite self-sacrificing and noble. But again, it comes with a big dose of ego. So you need that love to be demonstrated. You need people to show up, right? You need the gifts, right? You need your ego stroking. You need to feel loved. It's like King Lear, right? It's like, I need people to show me that love and demonstrate it. It's not enough to just, it's not like, like, for example, Capricorn Venus is like, I told you I love you once, why do you need to hear it again? It's like, Leo needs to hear it. Empress, gorgeous, Eight of Pentacles and Ten of Cups. You're working on it. You're working on your Venus energy. You're perfecting it. You know your worth, right? So this is about perfecting, embracing and perfecting that Empress energy, knowing your worth, and expecting people to show up and honor that. And then, through you doing that inner work on your Venus placement is going to bring you into Ten of Cups, which is happiness shared with others, right? So it's in understanding other people, in people understanding your worth, you're going to get that Ten of Cups. It's a journey. You're on the right journey. You're on the right tracks. You've got this, guys. Virgo Venus placement is a very nitpicky placement. It's like, Virgo's a critical energy, so a Virgo Venus placement is like, and it believes in perfection and idealism. So if a Virgo loves you, they are going to criticize you a lot. But like a Virgo Venus placement, if they love you, they criticize you because they want you to be the best version of yourself. So sometimes Venus Virgo love can be actually really bad for your confidence if you're sensitive to criticism. But when you recognize that this person is just trying to love you and that's how they do it, when they criticize you, it's like, oh, they love me. So it's just, again, about flipping something on its head and understanding the other. So Virgo Venus placement, and you like to work on it. Like, you like love to be a commitment. Virgo Venus. Virgo Venus, are you obsessing about something? Are you being a bit too clingy? Are you being a bit too domineering? Are you being a bit too... There's some shadow work that needs to be done in regards to your Venus placement. Yeah, you either feel trapped in love, like love makes you feel trapped, or when you love something, you want to trap it. So go and work on that, because that's not healthy. Love you. Venus, Virgos, you're amazing, but you have your moments. Okay. Libras, my fellow Libra Venus placements, how are you doing? Feeling sexy today? Been looking at Alexander McQueen and getting orgasms like me. Can relate. What are we up to? Venus, like you are self-sacrificing. Venus in Libra placement is absolutely self-sacrificing in love. You will bend and bend and bend and bend in relationships. You will try and please your partner. You will try and be whatever your partner wants you to be. It's a very giving placement, and it can be self-sacrificing. So you may need to rein it back in. Remember that you're the Empress, right? Make them come to you. Libra Venus, but you know, you love luxury, you love indulgence, you love to spend the day in bed with your lover. Like, that is like the perfect day. Netflix and chill was invented by a Libra, I swear. Libra Venus. Waiting for your ships to come in. Again, maybe you are sat in an attractive energy. Maybe you've put something out there. You're waiting to see a return on that. Yeah, this is. I've made my decision. I've made my decision here. I'm just waiting to see the results of. You know, maybe you've gone fishing. Yeah, it's like waiting for the other people to show up and treat you like the empress that you are, right? Like Libra Venus placement. Very, very strong placement. Again, Libra and Taurus are ruled by Venus, so it's the home sign. Very, very high quality placement in relationships. Like, you love and you love hard and you love right. So you want the other person to do that in return. Scorpio Venus. Oh, that's a very sexy placement, but it's a very controlling, stingy placement. Like, it's a bit of an ouch. It's a bit of an ouch attack. And I'm going to control you so you can't hurt me. So watch out for that. Doja Cat, I think, has Scorpio Venus. But you love deep and you love hard and you love intently. And you want to know everything you can know about your partner. It's like, you probably check your partner's phone when they're not looking. Because Scorpio's an energy of investigation. It's the detective of the zodiac. So the detective in love is like, I'm going to stalk you, I'm going to follow you, because I want to know what you're up to. I want to know everything about you. It can be obsessive. So again, high vibrational, low vibrational. Scorpio energy loves deeply. They have a lot of feelings. They will die for their person, right? It's intense. It's like, imagine like an 80s rock song where it's about love and it's like, I die for you. That's Venus Scorpio, but it can be vengeful. Scorpio Venus placements. Scorpio Venus. Watch out for sneakiness, your own and others. Sometimes sneakiness can be a good thing. She's taking swords from the battlefield so that they can't be used to her the next day. Be careful about self-sabotage and self-fulfilling prophecies. If you're in love and you're worried that your partner's going to cheat on you, you might accidentally manifest it. So get one more, please, for Scorpio Venus placements. Keep focusing on the Four of Wands. Keep focusing on the good. Keep focusing on what you want, and try not to assume everybody else is as sneaky as you are, because they're not necessarily. Right? Sneakiness can be a good thing or a bad thing. If you think about, again, the idea of Scorpio being a spy, Scorpio being a detective. You don't want to, you know, in relationships needs to be built on trust, and if you don't trust your partner, that's not fair on them. It's not fair on them. And you expect, if you expect to be trusted in relationships, you should offer that same trust to somebody else. Maybe find another Scorpio Venus placement that could go really good or really bad, but at least you'll understand each other. Okay, Sagittarius Venus. Sagittarius Venus is a good time. You are a badass being full of life, love, and possibilities. Through this deck, may you find a path to your best self. Keep doing what you're doing. Again, Sagittarius is all in, or like all or nothing. Like, Sagittarius Venus is like, oh my God, let's do this. This feels amazing. Let's go on an adventure together. And then like, oh, that didn't work out. Never mind. I'll go and find someone new. It's very, it's very, it's just remember how awesome you are. Like, Venus Sagittarius, you're quite an independent, very noble. Like, again, it's like you'd never intentionally cheat on somebody, but you know, if somebody's cheating on you, or like a relationship's gone a bit sour, you don't want to waste time on that. You can like I'll just cut the strings and let that boat go. I've got, you know, there's plenty more fish in the sea. It's quite a healthy Venus placement. Again, you're not going to have this attitude all the time. It depends on all your other placements, but just that one placement, very happy-go-lucky, very, very idealistic, very adventurous. You're not going to waste your time crying over spilt milk. Cappy, 10 of Cups. Oh my God, you got it. Caps. Cappy Venus. I want to build a life together. I want to build a home together. I'm in it to win it. I want everything that I saw in that whole Hallmark movie. I want a partner who values me. I want a partner who I can value. I want my happily ever after, and I know what it is, and I'm sticking with it. Okay, great. Venus Capricorn placements. You go and build that happy family, because you go again, very nice placement. Capricorn's all about the home, about tradition, about building things up. So if somebody with a Cappy Venus placement is investing their love into you, that is quite an honor. They probably want you to see it like that. Um, yeah, yeah, go and find your happily ever after, whatever that is. Aquarius Venus placements. How am I This is an interesting one. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. Making the magic happen. Aquarius Venus. You're quite independent. You don't want any. You don't tend to want the kind of like icky sticky, like lovey-dovey kind of love. If you like anything that was kind of clingy, so you wouldn't probably get on very well with a Cancerian or a Scorpio Venus placement, because it's very grabby. You tend to want to do relationships in quite a quirky way. You kind of want it to be a bit of an individual in relationships. You kind of want to do things that feel fun and exciting and novel. Yeah, you don't want to kind of like, you don't want to feel like you're stagnating. And again, it's a very intellectual sign. So, anything that appeals to, anything that's like novelty or intellectual is probably going to appeal to that kind of divine feminine heart space of yours. The Magician, you can make things happen. You like to surprise people. You know you can make things happen. Four of Swords, though, there's something that's healing there. Maybe you're healing your heart space. Maybe you tried to make something happen, it didn't happen. Yeah, just taking a little bit of rest and self-care is gonna sort that out for you, because you do love, right? You do love. Maybe you just don't want to show it. Maybe you don't want people to peek under that ice cool exterior. Pisces Venus. I love Pisces Venus. It really is the embodiment of unconditional love, which can be a good thing or a bad thing, because Pisces loves easily and everybody, and there's no talking about the ugly duckling. Pisces Venus is like, they don't even see the faults. The faults are beautiful to them. It's like, I will love you with all my heart, and I will love you unconditionally, and I will love you forever. But I might also love that person and that person, because there's like Pisces energy is gorgeous, but their cup overfloweth, right? So Pisces Venus. Ooh, everything's fine. Excuse me a sec. So that was my daughter telling me about a dream where she fought an ostrich. So I don't know if that applies to you in any sort of way. Have you been fighting ostriches? I don't know if something's hurt you. I kind of like, it's Pisces Venus feels deeply. Like, it's a very, like, the waters run deep with Pisces Venus. And there's this sweetness with Pisces energy. They're kind of like the old man and the innocent child at the same time. So very like worldly, otherworldly. Pisces comes with this energy of like imagination and rose tinted glasses. So if you thought everything was fine and everything was good, this is like someone stabbing you in the back repeatedly, stabbing you in the heart repeatedly, and you being like, everything's fine. I know that they love me. I love them. Everything's fine, because you want it to be fine so badly. So it's like you've lied to yourself that everything's fine when it's really not. And I think you need to, if that works for you, Pisces Venus, that's great. But again, there's certain placements that are more problematic than others. Every placement has its problems and its perks, right? And I want to say that I personally think Venus Pisces is a really beautiful placement, because it carries that unconditional love energy. It's like, I'll love you forever is the way it feels. It's like, show me like a panda bear. I don't know why. It's like, my partner can do no wrong. They are perfect. They're perfect in their imperfection. But again, like Libra Venus placements, it's very self-sacrificing, and you can stay in relationships longer than you should. Again, like Cancer Venus is like this, staying in relationships longer than you should, even if it's toxic, even if it's not fine. Like They ask if I'm fine and I'm not really fine, but I just can't get into it. It's like that meme. You're not fine. Okay, let's dig a little deeper into that, guys. So there's that unconditional love. So there's you offering your unconditional love. But you want to say somebody's not taking it. Somebody's over it. I'm hearing the milk soured. So it's not even spilt milk, it's the milk soured. The Hierophant tells me this could be something about a long-term commitment or a marriage. So I want to say that you, for some of you, not all of you, there could be a situation where you are in a long-term commitment with somebody and you're trying to offer your love to them, this unconditional love, because your partner can do no wrong. But your partner is not accepting that love anymore. And you're like, everything's fine. Why are they not accepting that? They're not accepting it because they are making a decision. They're at a crossroads. They're making a decision. I need a little bit more of this, because this feels like you seem vulnerable. You again, that is a very vulnerable placement, Pisces, Venus. You seem a little bit vulnerable here. And it has the feeling of like when you take off those rose-tinted glasses and you see that everything's not fine, you're going to be hurt. And it might be a difficult patch for you. And I want to make sure that you've got what you do have what you need to get through it. Remember this cosmic womb, right? That divine feminine energy within. You carry the energy of unconditional love. It's in you, right? Stop the endless searching, inner quest. Okay. So if you find that this relationship has gone sour and this person is choosing a different path, either if you identify as male, you might want to step into your Emperor energy, whatever that means for you. It could also represent a boss or a father figure who can support you. It could represent stepping out of your divine feminine energy. Perhaps you've been sat in divine feminine energy for too long in that heart space and you need to step into Emperor energy in the heart space. Again, we carry both energies within us, no matter what your gender is. So you may have to step up and lead. You may actually have to take action and make choices here, rather than being passive and just handing your power over to this other person. You're going to be okay. You are going to have a second chance. You are going to have a revival, and let your friends help you. Surround yourself with your friends. Surround yourself with the people who make you feel good and make you feel supported. Talk it out. You know, have those, invite your friends over, have a drink, see what they think about the situation. You're going to be okay. I want to say whatever happens, you are going to get a second chance, whether this is a second chance at this relationship, a second chance at finding your Emperor. Perhaps this is representing the divine masculine to your divine feminine. You're going to have a second chance at finding that. You're going to have a new lease of life. Let your friends help you. It's going to be okay. Now, I want to say as well, you've got two major arcana. You've got the Emperor and the Judgment card. These are very, very, very powerful cards. The Emperor is, again, divine masculine. The Judgment card is, normally there's an angel on this card. It's like the angels are helping you. They are wanting to help you. And again, if you happen to go through a dark night of the soul where you feel like you're in the void, again, dark night of the soul, long dark night, those pinpricks of light are there, right? That hummingbird is poking at the darkness for you and letting the light shine through, and the divine is going to reach you, okay? There are going to be people who have a helping hand. Just reach out, and you will have that helping hand. So I hope that's really helpful to you all. Okay, let's close out this reading with a little bit of something to look for. Where is that card? I don't know what I've done with my cards. Hold on, guys. She's gone stupid. I think Did I put them back? No. Okay, I don't know where the other cards have gone, so I'm just going to work with what I've got. Can we get a sign or symbol from the divine, please, so that we know what to look out for the next week or so? How do we know what to watch out for? How do we know that our spirit guides are around us? The Panther. Gorgeous. I love the Panther, especially in combination with divine feminine energy. The Torch as well. The Torch is a brilliant energy because, again, it's like the light in the darkness, like how I was talking about here, the light at the end of the tunnel, the light in the darkness. Resting, crying it out if you need to, having the bad day, having the bad days. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to have bad days. It's okay to feel bad things. That is part of being human and processing the experiences we're having. Okay, if you're hitting rock bottom, reach out for friends, family, doctors, whoever you can to help you, advice lines, all that kind of stuff. There are things out there that can help. You will get through it. You're going to be fine. The torch is lit. The passion is lit. You are going to find a new passion. You are going to find a revival. You are going to find something that you want to throw all your energy at again. It's going to be okay. You know, the light is there. Even if you can't see it, the light is there. Now, the Panther, I love this energy. This is like Mary Magdalene energy. This is like a sacred sexuality energy. The Panther is the second chakra for me. So again, this chakra about creativity, passion, sexuality, drive, very Queen of Wands energy. So yeah, real Queen of Wands energy here. It's tapping into your shadow, right? Whatever that is, whether it's abandonment issues, whether it's fears of the future, whatever it is, tapping into your shadow, letting that darkness envelop you, and then using it to move through the darkness so that you can reach your goals. So it's not about becoming the darkness, it's about understanding the darkness and utilizing the darkness. So how I was talking about the unicorn within. So carrying that divine feminine within, carrying that unicorn purity, divine love energy within you, that beautiful Christ-like spark within you, holding that within. The Panther has this energy within them, right? But they hide it, because this is, if you went out as a unicorn and you were shining your light everywhere as this kind of pure being, kind of like the naive feminine, people come and want that, right? It's attractive, but that can be dangerous. So the Panther knows to hide it. The Panther knows to hide it deep within themselves and only shine that light to the people who are going to honor it, and to the people who you can really trust. The Panther protects you. The Panther protects you in this reality, in this dark world that we live in. So yeah, very, very, very powerful, very instinctual, very connected to the land, to the environment, to their own body. If you think about how a panther moves their own body. So actually, do you know what? To tap into that divine feminine panther energy, I would strongly recommend doing yoga or dance. Stick on some sexy music, some music that, like, you know, really makes you move your body. And like Man Eater's a really good song by Nelly Furtado. I like shake my hips to that. So whatever song like makes you want to get up and dance, but in a kind of sexy way. Oh, the lambada as well was on before, like do 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 do. So whatever you can move your body to, whether it's yoga, whether it's dance, in the privacy of your own home, nobody has to see it. Feel each individual muscle moving, right? Roll your body, roll your shoulders back, roll your head, like move your body, embrace your body, be thankful for every single little movement that your body can make, and feel the sensuality of it. That is Panther energy. So go for it. Go and have a good week, guys. I can't randomize you a song on camera because I'm using my phone that I used to do that. But go and check out the description box down below, where you'll find all the songs that came through for this reading listed, including the last two songs, which will be a wake-up moment, an epiphany moment, and advice. So go and check those out, and as it resonates to you, take it, and if it doesn't, leave it. And of course, you have the ability to have autonomy and make your own decisions. You don't have to do something just because a tarot card reader told you to do it. If it's not your vibe, it's not your vibe. Go and be good people. Go and embrace your Panther energy. Keep hold of that purity, and yeah, go and do whatever it is you want to do, because you've got this. Bye, guys.